how much time? Oh, all right. Break this down. What's your internet diet when you're on YouTube? When you're browsing social media, what do you spend a lot of time on?
Interesting. Yeah, I've been wondering because I'm like, oh, is sketch comedy like kind of dead on YouTube and stuff like that, or is it just like short form?
Because you've pivoted to the shorts in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
Or at least everything you make, you got to kind of do the short thing as well.
Yeah. Kind of do a lot of shorts. And like the long form stuff, I'm like, is that even doing well? Besides, like if it's like podcast commentary, the real stuff, which I'm like, I do watch most of that anyway.
Podcast.
So I'm like,
podcast commentary?
Like podcast.
Too lazy to try?
Or commentary or like somewhat like a topic or something. Like, yeah, I'll watch that kind of stuff versus like a sketch too. So I'm like, oh, maybe I need to like kind of get on to that. Because that stuff is a little more interesting,
right?
And maybe sketch comedy could be like shorts and stuff or things that look real,
right? Like I clicked on like a couple of the videos that I have saved to watch at some point in the near future. One of them is the podcast producer whose job it is to get high. Yeah. And I've seen it and it sucked me in. But I have a good relationship with the content creator. Well, I don't have a good relationship with him. Actually, he's made videos shitting on me, but. I have a good relationship in the sense that I've watched a bunch of his content and I think it's good. I trust that it'll be good. Sunny V2 is the most extreme version of that. Yeah. Because he's just kind of had hit after hit. So people are just clicking everything. And that's kind of a big part of getting your shit to do well.
I wonder if like, because I kind of just shit post recently. Because I'm like short, whatever lands. And it's like more interesting and fun. But I'm like, what? I'm like, does that deter the audience or does it even matter? Because some stuff will like blow up out of nowhere on like reels or shorts or TikTok, and it's like, does it matter the shit posting or do you need like every video to be like a smash hit?
Like the Mr. Beast thing.
Yeah, like the Mr. Beast thing.
Because my channel is the complete and total opposite of that, where like you do an interview, you get 15 fucking clips from the interview, you drop the clips, you drop the full interview, it's just like, we're just really hitting them with a lot of stuff. Yeah. And you can really make your own call about how much of it you want to watch. But the new theory of the internet is the Mr. Beastification of everything. Yeah. Let's focus on retention. Let's focus on keeping them entertained. There will be an explosion every 8 to 10 seconds. Yeah. And that I don't know if I really want to play that game.
I know. It seems so like formulaic. Obviously it works, but I'm like, oh, that seems tiring. Yeah. And like draining. And then if it doesn't do well, you're like, why did I even try? Yeah.
Like I'm just throwing paint at the wall and just seeing what's going to happen here. Yeah. I was watching your videos most popular to least popular. And like sometimes you'll have like a short, a 3-minute video and a 10-minute video that's like the same shoot, right? You'll have like the unedited long version, the tightly condensed 3-minute version, and then the short banger version.
Yeah. Those are nice to do because it's the same thing with like a podcast. Like whoever wants to watch the full thing could do it, and then these are like the fire clips, the best part of the episodes. So yeah, it's kind of the same. You're kind of feeding everyone. I feel like
one thing I think when I look at your channel is like, damn, this guy has that dedication because you've just been like kind of grinding the same concept for a long time. Whereas I feel like a lot of YouTubers kind of like experience a degree of success. Then they sort of just, they get kind of tired of doing the thing that they got popular doing and they like want to switch it up. But it feels like you're kind of focused on this thing. But do you think beyond it? Is there like a timeline in your head where you might be like, fuck, I'm gonna like just I feel like a lot of people who do produced content like you do just end up doing podcasts at some point. It's just like a lazy thing of like, oh, I can make an hour-long thing. It's going to take me way less time than this like banger 5-minute video.
That people want to watch the podcast. It's interesting. Because like this year I kind of shifted to like getting out those quick snippets. Like I've always just filmed like long videos and then condense it down to like that 10 minutes. And that would just like work and stuff. But now I'm just like, I'll even go out for a shoot and just want it to be like 1 minute long and like film it on a phone and stuff. And I'm like starting to wonder like, would it be fun to film a full like movie on a phone? Just so easy. Right. Even before I came here, I was like, what movies have been filmed on like a phone? It's like random ones, like this Unsane one it was called, and it like looks so good. Or like this one called Tangerine. He directed like Florida Project and Red Rocket and stuff. And you're like, dang, you filmed that on a phone? That sounds so easy.
Right.
And I'm like, can you just use like the littlest of equipment to like make a scripted movie that feels really real, that like is has like that same heart as like a big movie, but you don't have to wait around for 5 hours to set up everything.
Right. Well, I went through that realization during my years as a BMX rider because, you know, I'm coming up and we're all using like VXs and shit and like all these like old school cameras and everything. And then phones keep getting better. I've already been riding bikes starting in like 1997. All of a sudden it's like 2011 or 12 or whatever, where everybody's got an iPhone and everybody's filming video on their phone. And then you're on Instagram and everybody's posting like, you know, whatever, like shitty ass crashes or like your leftovers are becoming the shit that you post on there. Yeah. And then meanwhile, you still have like expensive ass cameras and the filmers. We all have like $4,000 fucking cameras that we're filming shit with. But then you start to have this realization that the clip that you film with the $4,000 camera is not going to do as well on Instagram as the fucking iPhone clip of the same trick, because somehow the iPhone just feels super relatable, and the really, really nice fisheye camera on a really high quality, fisheye lens on a high quality camera, it just feels too polished for people and they don't want to see it.
It's like, it's almost like they want to feel like they're there. Because like with an iPhone, you feel like you're actually filming it. So maybe that's like why people like it so much. It's because like with a crash, you're like, oh, I was there. But like with a big camera, you kind of take yourself out.
Yeah, it feels like a production. You're like, you understand that like, oh, this is a crazy thing that a lot of effort went into. Whereas the iPhone angle is like, you could imagine yourself walking down the street, just sort of seeing this guy doing this shit and just stopping. Yeah,
exactly. That's interesting because people, I feel like people too, like they're like, oh, this is such high effort. And it's like, they like don't want to watch it if it's high effort, especially like on like YouTube and stuff, I feel like.
Yeah, effort is kind of a turn off to some people.
Yeah. I've seen that too before, like where it's like a creator will like put all this money into like a passion project or something and it just like won't do well. Right. People are just like, this isn't just like an easy, dumb video.
Well, especially when you have your audience trained to expect certain things from you.
Yeah, exactly. True. So that is an interesting thing.
Like Keemstar, who's had a fascinating career arc because, you know, he used to do like millions of views on Drama Alert, and then the views just kind of kept going down over time. I think he stopped posting like a year ago or something, maybe a little longer than that. But at one point recently, he did a full-length documentary about Boogie 298 and 2988 and Wings of Redemption, these extremely morbidly obese men who had a boxing match. And it performed horribly on his channel. I think it only got like 200,000 views. And that's got to be a bitter pill to swallow, that you've been making these shit quality videos that you just in your basement rehashing like YouTuber beef. And you're like, granted, the views are going down on that too, but then you make this like extremely high quality documentary and it just doesn't perform as well as like the low quality stuff that you've been making. That's got to really make you feel like you're in a bind.
Yeah. It's like you almost got to expect it. Maybe it's like you got to like expect that this is just for passion or something instead of going, because every time I'm like, this is gonna go viral, it's been like, then it's just like, oh, that hurt when it like doesn't do well, or even does well and you're just like, I wanted to do better because I spent so much time.
I see you trying to dip into the Taylor Swift clout factory.
Yeah. Am I? Who's
the male Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I did do that.
I mean, Taylor Swift is just so viral.
Yeah.
And it used to be more like you can make a video and just put anyone's name in the title and like get that viral effect, but I feel like that doesn't happen as much anymore.
Yeah. Or it doesn't really.
Like sometimes
it's
it will.
Interesting.
But it's like your fan base probably doesn't overlap with the Taylor Swift audience for the most part, so maybe the algorithm decides that you're not worthy of that.
Yeah, you could like you back in the day you just use the tags. I remember I would like when I first started, I was like, I don't know, like 15 or something, I would just put like the tags of like,
Oh, yeah.
just big actors. Just doesn't even relate to the video at all.
And even
It's
like
this would
websites
work.
before YouTube, they would, like if you looked at the source code or whatever, you'd like scroll the bottom and it'd just be all these keywords over and over and over. That was like 1998 SEO practices.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I had a good lick going for a while because there was a BMX rider from LA named Chris Brown, black guy. Didn't really look like Chris Brown at all, but I would post videos of him on my channel and just put Chris Brown in the title. And it would do this weird thing where like as soon as it came out, it would get like a lot of views for a while because it would just get served to all the Chris Brown fans. And then like very quickly the algorithm would realize like, oh, this has nothing to do with Chris Brown. It would stop serving it up. But at least I would get like a little spike there.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Guy didn't look anything like Chris Brown though. That's the problem.